Okay, first off, I want to thank you for watching this video. I'm going to show you how I would like you to make an outline for my class. This happens to be a physical science book, but you could use your earth science book, or would probably work with other books for other classes. This is what I'd want you to do. Let's say, for example, we were doing an outline over Chapter 18. This happens to be the electromagnetic spectrum and light. On your paper, you would write up at the top of it, Chapter 18, the electromagnetic spectrum and light. Also remember to put your name, first name, last name in the upper right hand corner of your page. Now when we come to the first section, this particular section is 18.1 electromagnetic waves. So what I'd like you to do on your paper, come down a couple lines and write Roman numeral 1 and then say 18.1 electromagnetic waves. Now you will see that in your textbook different sections are color coordinated. For example, here's a section that's in this book is in green, and then underneath it are some subsections in blue. But after the first section here, 18.1 electromagnetic waves, there's a little bit of material that doesn't have any other subsection. So for example, this reads, what do X-ray machines, microwave ovens, and heat lamps all have in common? There's about 3 paragraphs. You may decide in these 3 paragraphs that there is something that should go in your outline. If you do, I would suggest that you put little hash marks and then write whatever you think that it should be. Hash mark. Maybe you find 2 or 3 different things that you feel are important. Okay? Again, that is just under the very first section before you get to something that's in color. When you get to the first item that's in color, here it says, what are electromagnetic waves? That is going to be A. And it doesn't matter if you put it here or if you skip down a line, but that's A for your outline. What are electromagnetic waves? Okay, now when you read that in that first section, there will be a few things in there that should go in your outline, especially anything that is in bold. So again, now you're putting hash marks, and notice where I put the hash mark. Okay, I put it underneath the what in the what are electromagnetic waves. And you're going to write what's important here. Hash mark, maybe there's 2 or 3 things that are important. And then you come down to something that is in a different color. See, this first one was in green in this textbook. Now we've got something in blue. It says, how are they produced? Okay, if it's in blue, or in the next color, underneath here, you're going to say 1 and circle it. And this one said, how are they produced? So I'm going to write, how are they produced? Now, in that section, that little subsection, you will find several items in here that should go in your outline. Anything in bold, anything in italics, anything that you feel is important enough to go in your outline, you're going to put a little hash mark, you're going to write that. Maybe there's 3 or 4 things that should go in the outline. Okay, now I come to something else that's in blue. This one says how they travel. So I'm going to come over here. I've got the A, I've got the 1. This is also in the same color as the 1. So underneath it I'm going to write 2, and it said how they travel. So I'm writing how they travel. Once again, I'm going to go through this paragraph. I'm going to find several items in this paragraph that I feel are important enough to be in the outline. I'm going to write them on here. Hash mark, etc., whatever it is. Maybe in this one I had 3 or 4 different things that should go in there. I flip the page over. Now I'm into something else that is in green. Okay, that was the same color as what I had in the A. So as I go down here, I will put that as B. and it said, in this particular case, it says the speed of electromagnetic waves. The speed of electromagnetic waves. Now, before I get to something in blue, there's like a paragraph under here. I may decide I want something in there, in my outline. So I'm going to put a hash mark, and maybe it's just one item, and that's fine. And then I come to something that is in blue. So again, I come down here. This will be 1. It said Michelson's experiment. All right, so that's what I'm going to put here. Maybe I will find several items to go underneath there as well. And then I come to something else that's in blue. In this case, it says the speed of light, so that will be number 2. And hopefully by now you're starting to pick up on the pattern and how I want you to do these outlines. There may be several items under the speed of light that need to go into your outline. And so you'll put a little hash mark, and everything that you feel is important enough to go in the outline, that's where you put it, under these little hash marks. Okay, next I come to another item in green. So I've got, so far I have A, I have B, and now something else in green, or whatever color you're working with. This says wavelength and frequency. So I'm going to write that down as well. You will continue this pattern. You'll continue on doing the same thing that I've showed you to do here until you get to the next section. And the next section in this, our example, will be 18. Should be 18.2. Back up a little bit. Must have skipped it. 18.2, and that is the electromagnetic spectrum. So you'll continue following this pattern on, and then just as you had written 18.1 with the Roman numeral, you will now write Roman numeral 2, and it'll be 18.2, the electromagnetic spectrum. You will see there is a tiny bit underneath the electromagnetic spectrum. You may decide you want to put some hash marks and write that. And your first item here in green is the waves of the spectrum. So that will be A. And hopefully you are getting the idea. You're going to find a few items under the waves of the spectrum that you're going to write about. And again, you just make those hash marks. Write whatever you think is important enough to go into your outline. You'll see something come along. Now in this case there wasn't anything in blue, so the next one that you'll have is B, radio waves. And that is the pattern that you should follow in doing these outlines. Again, these outlines are to help you do better, to help you study for the test. Make sure that you're reading the book, and I hope that you don't hate them too much. They really can help you if you will let them. Thanks for watching this video.